Hi, I'm Stan.
And I'm Shen.
And each week we bring you the Stan and Shen Show. And each week we talk about fun things through our travels throughout the capital region. We touch on food, we touch on news, try to touch heavily on good news. And Shen's always available with hot takes.
Yeah, so if you could follow along and listen to us every week on dailygazette.com or on all major streaming platforms, we'd love to have you join us.
Here we are. You may speak now.
Oh, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the work wing again. We're here to bring interesting stuff, not boring. I don't know, Stan, what do you want me to intro this?
Where are we? Why are we here? Why do we drag Chris in on a closed Monday?
Oh, okay. So
What is this week's podcast, Janet?
Okay. So we're actually going live from the Stella Pasta Bar and the Van Dyck Music Club and 7 Points Brewery. I got all three. Boom. See, I came prepared today.
I saw notes.
There were notes.
I was like, she's bringing it.
Yeah. So to talk Jazz Appreciation Month, which is coming up in April. And so Chris cornered me at the end of the restaurant meeting last week and was like, Shen, I got to get on the podcast to talk about Jazz Appreciation Month.
We were
and I was
sat
like,
across from each other.
okay,
on
it
a
wasn't
table
really
of 14 people.
Yeah, really sounds way better though if I say cornered me. But no, he was polite. He waited until like 3 other people were done talking to me and was like, hey, can I be on the, can I come on the podcast and do talk about Jazz Appreciation Month and what's going to be going on at the Van Dyck? And I've been wanting to have Chris on. So I'm so excited and decided that we should do it inside of the actual place because it's really stunning in here. So we're in the Stella Pasta part of it, and then the Van Dyck is technically upstairs.
So here's the confusion on this, because people try to quarter it, and I have more
Do you really just
letters. It's the Van Dyck.
Okay.
And people are like, oh, this used to be the Van Dyck. I mean, what are you talking about?
Okay. So it's more like the building's
The building's the Van Dyck, and it always will be.
Okay.
The restaurant is Stella Pasta Bar and Bistro, which in July of 2016, this year, we celebrate 10 years.
Ooh, you got to let us know. July, you said?
July
on
of
the ribbon cutting
2016. Yeah, for sure. I was talking to Maureen. I mentioned it briefly. Listen, it's a great accomplishment, but at the same time, 2 states of mind, because we've been only here in Schenectady for 3.5 years. So it's a natural restart, a lot more going on here, but we're still very proud of that day. And so the restaurant, being Stella, we move into the Van Dyck after we had to leave our situation in Burn Hills, but still wanted to continue being a little family restaurant. The folks here that were at Mad Jack kind of heard this story through our weekly newsletter that I send out. And they invited us in, said to take a look. We said, wow, the restaurant's incredible. The parking lot, the building is beautiful. They showed us the brewing facilities, crazy, giant bar here. The basement, a bit of a mess. That was a bit of a scary part of the tour. But then they took us upstairs, and that's when I saw the venue for the first time. Growing up in Saratoga, I just didn't know that the Van Dyck was here. And the opportunity to just walk up a level and really have my eyes opened by the potential, what's here with these 3 different spheres, areas, businesses, whatever you want to call it, under one roof. So we quickly came in and needed to get the brewery going right away. If you call something Stella Brewery, Stella Artois people might be sending me an email or something. So I had a piece of paper out, and I was just brainstorming ideas for what's called a brewery. Not well for the first part of the paper. I thought maybe what could inspire me. I opened the website just to look at the Stella website, and our logo, Stella Pasta Bar, has this 7-pointed star that's prominent in a lot of the advertising stuff we do. And I was like, oh, 7-point stars, 7 points.
I've never noticed that.
Yeah,
I'm literally looking at it right now.
That's why people have to listen to the Stan and Shen Show podcast. We are dropping knowledge. We are here to share, not just your truth and running.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
And so that was right off the bat. 2022 fall of was when we moved in and had to get the restaurant going, learning how a bar and brewery operates, figuring out what to do with this bar section. Folks that come here often will know we have a phenomenal bar menu. That was one of the first choices we made. It's hard to do that 3-course full service dinner menu at the bar when you have one or two bartenders running around. And so the happy hour and stuff got going. We had this great platform on the first floor, but knew that we have this beautiful space upstairs that can hold over 100 people, has the stage and the sound and the second historic bar up there. And we had to get it going. Also had to figure out, what are we going to call this? Is this an extension of Stella? It never really made sense like that. It felt like this part specifically was tied to the Van Dyck, and was thinking of jazz names. How do I get a second reference out of that star? And I was struggling. I was at the end of the bar. My bartender, Andrew, who lives here in the neighborhood, has worked with us since pretty much right after we opened. I remember just looking at him, I go, why don't I call it, about something about the Van Dyck? Literal, like, light bulb moment. And then after a little talk, some conversation with folks that have been in the industry for a while, I like the idea of a club in that reference, that it's like you're here for the art and the performances, opposed to a lounge, which they called it originally, where it's very much you're hanging out in the lounge and stuff's happening in the background. Cafe Lena is a music club, and that's a lot of the inspiration of what I'm doing here. So at that point, you have Stella Pasta Bar and Bistro, 7 Points Brewery, and the Van Dyck Music Club. That's 12. I'm counting on my fingers here. Words. That's a lot, man. So for me, I just want people to know, because this is all about awareness right now, this stage in the game for me, that cool stuff's happening at the Van Dyck. Quality and consistency. That's Chef's mantra for 10 years now. And we're applying that to the whole experience over here. So what you can say is, it's Monday morning at the Van Dyck.
At the Van Dyck.
And we're happy to be here, man.
And that's great. And I do want to note, before we get into Jazz Appreciation Month, that you're actually being honored today.
Woo!
At the Eddies. They were receiving an award at the Eddies.
I gotta go steam my shirt. I have more than one, but I know the one I want.
For the contributions and, upholding the history of the Van Dyck and everything that goes with that. And part of that, which is a nice segue, is the continuation of jazz music, through the Van Dyck Music Club. And Jazz Appreciation Month is coming up. And what's so great about this is, I was just looking through the various dates, is you have both free shows and show. So if you've never been, it's a great opportunity.
Shannon.
It's a great opportunity to come. Stan. It's a great opportunity to come. Don't make me lose my thoughts. But there's so many other shows too, and they're not expensive, I would say. Like, they're really not. Like, anyone can pretty much go to these.
The key for me here, and I've seen shows in the capital region be at different levels and stuff. What I can do differently than venues in the capital region, and honestly what I think a majority of venues in the world, is provide a level of food and beverage through our first floor that props up the second floor. And in terms of affordability, it's like, I'm just trying to match the tickets to how many folks I think I can get in here so we can pay our talent. I don't need to make a dime off ticket sales, really, ever. And I don't really want to. Whatever extra is, depending on how the deals are agreed upon, is just going back into the building and the experience. And upstairs has honestly the most work for me to do to keep raising the level of the quality on the guest experience side. But yeah, the talent that we're bringing in, especially part of the free series, which right now we're calling Saturday Night Jazz. That's 6 to 9 o'clock downstairs in the dining room area. Happens to be precisely where we are sitting right now. Some of the best jazz trios in the capital region just come and play during dinner service. You have the big, beautiful bar here to, they ruined Big Beautiful. You can't say that. I'm sorry, my listeners at home. I gotta pick new adjectives. I have this tremendous bar here that you can sit and listen to the jazz music. And then also, like, one of our dining rooms makes it very accessible to hear the music during dinner. You can make reservations specifically for that room or for the room further away if you're coming in with Saturday friends catching up. And then upstairs, where I host shows, right now on the third Thursday of the month, that's Capital Region saxophonist, composer, and phenomenal dude Keith Prey coming in April. The third Thursday show is upstairs. We have a new club menu. It has our pasta bar, which is on the bar menu, and dinner menu is the mix and match pasta section. That's our most popular item. but it also has a couple of entrees and salads from the dinner menu, the appetizers, some of the pub stuff from the bar menu in one condensed menu that is served to you right on the second floor. So for those shows that are specifically upstairs, it's been my goal for folks coming to the Van Dyke for that entertainment specifically. If you don't want to interact with the restaurant or the brewery, you can come in the door, take a right-hand turn, check in with your tickets, and go right upstairs to the club for the performance and still be supported by the food and beverage here that, that's how me and Chef keep the bills on, keep things going.
Well, hold on. I'm just going to jump in because I also wanted to note that they do have a brunch show that's for free on here.
Our first jazz brunch.
Yeah. So, and the brunch, not that I've been yet, but I've heard a lot from people, including my boss, that it's great. So, so it's on my list.
It's on the list. So to help Chris out, so since we've now ruined Big Beautiful
I know.
in the vernacular,
Terrible.
we're here on the Stan and Shen Show to provide you with new terminology to add to your vocabulary.
I appreciate that.
And courtesy of Shannon, fabulous.
Fabulous.
Oh, I was just going to say it too. I meant that we were thinking the same thing. Well, because I don't want to use the bleep. It's effing fabulous.
This is true, but fabulous is one of Shannon's goes when it's like eye-poppingly gorgeous, pretty.
I think we're going to change it now
You gonna change it?
to stupendous.
Stupendous.
The way you deliver fabulous kind of has a ring to it. Just the way, because you get so damn excited.
You can't pick my words for me.
I'm telling you, it's like when you say something's when you say something's fabulous, I'm like, oh wow, she really likes this. This is not just, oh, that's nice.
We got to get you in here for one
That's
of our
nice.
one of our drag or burlesque shows. Speaking of fabulous.
Oh, every time I see one coming up, I'm like, is my schedule free?
You got the note. You got the notepad right there. We have Friday, April 3rd with the Bijou Show. That's our adult variety show. Our burlesque performers, tremendous folks, Cherish and Mimi, come in and use the space to a T. Of course, drinks and food provided by Stella up there. And then our next drag show, I work with the fabulous Miss Stella Progress, and that is the most deserved fabulous.
What day is that?
That is on May 1st, Friday, May 1st. It is our first ever headliners. We've had 5 now, I believe. This is featuring...
talk Chad into going to the drag one.
Well, Mrs. Kasha Davis will be here. That is a RuPaul Drag Race and RuPaul All-Star alumni and icon. It's our first time working with a RuPaul alum, so very excited for that. Yeah.
What are you and Rita doing?
I'm thinking podcast.
Live from the drag show.
Just reach out when they have to do a Zoom. We need to do a Zoom. But I'd love to have that. But we could make it a foursome. That would.
Okay.
I'll read them. Over the moon.
Yep. Those are so fun. And
They're coming to a drag show on May 1st.
They're part of what I call my social event. So I do the jazz and I book the jazz myself. I'm very proud of that here at the Van Dyke. I feel like it's part of the responsibilities. But with the outside shows, and that includes the comedy, that includes the murder mystery dinner theater.
Oh yeah, I want
the drag
to do that too. I feel like I'd kill at that.
Finding some nice promoters and producers to work with, because I'm doing a lot here, obviously, and I'm very happy to, but it's like I can't put a lineup of comedians together myself or source queens or come up with these 4-part murder mystery plays that we work with Murder Cafe. Frank just does an incredible job with those. And so to have people that are been in this industry for a while take a look at this venue, they're like, this is someplace where you'd be very excited to work with. And then it goes on my shoulders, on my tremendous general manager and event planner here, Ali Scalise, my cousin. And we can do the food and beverage side to support these incredible performers. And it's been a huge part of what we do here and a lot of fun.
I feel like for the drag shows and the burlesque ones, you gotta have like very unique cocktail for them.
Oh, we always do some specialty cocktails up there. Yeah. Stella's Rum Punch. Shout out to Stella's Rum Punch. It is a cellar.
Your eyes are getting a little bit too big right now. It's like 10:30 in the morning, and your eyes are like.
Chad will be driving.
There's also the Washington Apple. That is just this drink that I don't know. it sells like crazy to the point where we kind of make fun of it. There is a drink called a Washington Apple, but it's not necessarily this drink, and we called it that, and we've been trying to come up with a better name for it, but come try the Washington Apple at one of these excellent social events, you know?
Yeah,
But-
especially for Jazz Appreciation Month.
Well,
you
the
go.
jazz shows are. Here's the thing with these shows: they each bring in a bit of a different crowd. So to get different folks to experience what the Van Dyke Music Club is like, and in turn get a little taste of Stella Pasta Bar and 7 Points Brewery, is so great for growing this business organically, which is all we do. I don't spend a dime on advertising in 10 years, unless
As just I'll just say joint partnership between the DSIC and the Gazette News Group, but we'll take that pass.
shut up. It's just it's to get folks here and to let me yap at them a little bit, I think is my absolute favorite thing. That's what I'm trying to design this thing around. And we have so many opportunities to talk to different folks with the restaurant, the brewery, the venue, which then diverts into different flavors of entertainment, to bring all sorts of people down here. And there's so many people in the capital region like me. I was here from 2004. I moved up from when I was in middle school, graduated high school up in Saratoga, stayed in the area for a while throughout. When we opened the restaurant in Burnt Hills, I never heard of the Van Dyke. It just didn't overlap. I'm not a jazz guy historically. I'm a karaoke guy, as a matter of fact.
I feel like that needs to become a night here.
Here, no. It's just not. I don't have a late night crowd. I don't have the setup for it.
I can make you a late night crowd.
But if you find a bar in Schenectady that would be willing to host my monthly karaoke show, I'm very affordable, and I'm pretty interested in doing it again now that I'm a little more settled here. The staffing here is good. I can sneak out on a Friday night once a month. I think be okay. So yeah, anyone listening to this can reach out. But just everything I learned about the Van Dyke was after getting an email from the folks that were here and learning we had a chance to come down here. It was actually 6 years ago this month. I think it was March 21st of 2022 that we looked at the Van Dyke for the very first time. And doing a lot of research there, the first decision, fork in the road was, do we lean into the history of this building, which very much was the jazz history, or do we reinvent the wheel? And I'm so glad I chose, which now seems to be the obvious decision. It took then further steps to get to the level we're at now. In Burnt Hills, we had live music every Saturday night. And that was a big part through my mom, Lisa, who was one of the original owners, no longer with us late. But this is how we stay close to her. And keeping the entertainment going when we moved here right away was how it just was second nature to me. And the restaurant should have music in it on Saturdays. That was a mom thing, and it had to continue here. And we started again with more of our singer-songwriter, Saratoga-esque contingent, until I had one jazz group in here. And the vibes were right. People were really enjoying it. Turns out a second one reached out to me. I booked them and started putting them on rotation. And then I found from 2, 4, 8, 16, the drill, it just really started growing. And then it just reached the point to say, we're at the Van Dyke. We're committing to being like a jazz club now. And that started with Saturdays. After about a year doing it downstairs, I was due for October 5th of 24. With tremendous vibraphonist Mike Benedict was here to play. And a month or two out, I was like, Mike, you think we could maybe move this one upstairs for the first time? I had a couple comedy shows that summer to kind of test the waters and say, let's get jazz upstairs. And so now I'm mostly a jazz guy and partly a karaoke guy still.
All right. So of all the I know it's hard to pick.
It's
But
not.
is there
Which
one?
was your favorite child?
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
no,
Ask
no.
him. Go ahead.
No, which one are you looking forward to seeing? Because maybe you've seen some others before. So is there one on here you haven't seen that you're looking forward to seeing?
So it's a toss-up because I've had a lot of these guys in previously. So just quick rundown of some of the early ones. Starts with Scott Hopkins. It's a banjo-driven jazz trio. And I'm having him here at the Van Dyke for the first time with hopes of he has a bit of a bigger act with some special guests we might be able to do upstairs in the future. Very excited for that one. The SUNY Schenectady Jazz Showcase is killer. Brian Patnett, Dylan Canterbury, two huge names in the Capital Region jazz scene, are professors over at SECC. And they get the kids over here. It's a lot of fun. Did it for the first time last year at about 140 people upstairs. That's about 30 more than I normally plan for, but we made it work. I'm going to be a little bit more ready for it this year, but I'm sure it'll be a fun, crazy night of just these kids, passionate, professional, kind, really appreciative kids getting on stage at a historic jazz venue, you know? So I'm stoked to be a part of that. Joe Barnum and Sketches of Influence, this is just a killer group. Joe's bringing up two New York City players, and specifically Greg Glassman on trumpet, Ralph LaLama on sax, that are just huge players. Ralph was here last summer in June, which is an honor. He's part of the Village Vanguard Orchestra down in the city, amongst other things, and that's just some tremendous original hard bop jazz that Joe is a drummer and composer from Troy, New York, that takes this band all over. To have them here as part of a mini tour at the Van Dyke, tremendous. First jazz brunch, Arch Stanton Trio, Terry Gordon on trumpet, just a killer group, nicest guys. I double booked them. That's how our first jazz brunch came apart. I double booked them, and I was like, shoot, man, the person I also had to move around recently. I was like, let me see if I can find you guys a date. And I'm like booked through June right now. I was like, shoot. I asked Chef, I was like, dude, Jazz Appreciation Month, right? This is the time to try the first jazz brunch. He's like, oh. I'm like, it works with the budget. He's like, okay, fine. Yes. So our first jazz brunch is coming up with a group that I really love. Thursday night. Thursday night is my baby. That was the first series that we had over here, a show upstairs once a month. That was about all I could commit to, not on a Saturday as to interrupt what we do downstairs or some of the parties that we were having. And yeah, it's been a series I'm really proud of, getting some amazing Capital Region bands upstairs and promoted. Keith has a special guest, Enrique Hanin, who is a keyboardist, drummer, composer, educator based out of New York City, who's worked with like a absolute incredible list of performers. I could sit here and talk about that list probably all day. But he's up here on a bit of like a music grant to work with the schools. So I just get to pay him just almost like any other union musician. And it's some tremendous talent's going to be on display that Thursday night. Another Saturday show, which is part of our free show, follows that. Crispin and his Catrio, that's Crispin Catricula here. Just a really cool jazz guitarist, upbeat, really pleasant guy. It's going to be the second time I've had him for this series, and it's just, when I have it on the Saturdays, it becomes more than background music at the Van Dyke. It's part of the service, part of the shift. When I hit 6 o'clock on a Saturday, I get to relax. Like that's the end of the dinner shift, and the start of the music generally just gets the vibes going here so well that that's almost the end of my week, and I get to start enjoying the tunes, which is tremendous. But you asked me what I'm most excited for, and it is the two shows at the end of the month. I cannot lie. I saw Zohar and Adam, who's a brother duo on the keys and drums, at the Falcon. That's down in Marlboro, New York, about 2 hours south. Incredible club they have going there. Talk about the food and bar service propping up the art and the performers, and their whole mantra is support living artists and taking care of the performers that come through there. I'm very appreciative and admirative of what they're doing over there. That's where I saw these guys. It's like fusiony. Their parents are like, I believe, like a professor and a big band leader, like former big band leader, and they have siblings that also play music, musical family, just like tight. The playing. It's so insane how on the same page they are. I think they're going to be huge once more people find out about them. It's an awareness thing there too. They're releasing their first album. They just got signed to a label. And for me to bring them up here and hopefully be able to do a reoccurring thing, I think this is very much my level. You know, when you see some of the jazz happening around, they're hosting bigger shows at the Egg and UPH, where I'm going this evening, and you know, in places that have the budget and capacity to do that. Whereas here, it's like, if I can discover some up and coming artists and give them a platform and maybe reason to come back as they ascend down the line. You know, this is something I think I've been aiming towards at first without even really realizing it, and then just being like, this is what I can do here in Schenectady between New York and Boston and Philly and DC, people coming through. And it started with Marvin Freeman, and he didn't play the tunes or make the drinks or make the food. It was the hospitality that grew the Van Dyke. Big shoes to fill. That's where I find myself. So I'm going to take care of the fellas on Saturday, April 25th, and I saw them on December 28th. I still think about that show. It was so good. I was front row, front table, really, the way they have it set up. And yeah, tremendous. But Thursday, April 30th, which I believe is the last day of the month. I've never been good at that 30-31 knuckle thing. It evades my brain. But Thursday, April 30th, Bobby Previtt. Bobby Previtt, recently I saw a thing that was just like, what's the best jazz album that came out in the year you were born? It was like some Facebook or meme or Reddit thing. I was like, I wonder, I'll check it out. And I had this show I was working on. And some of the top reviewed albums, and right there is one of Bobby's albums from 1991. So has been doing it for longer than I have been alive, at a level that is just insane. He is a drummer, maybe a composer first, then a drummer, and then a multi-instrumentalist artist, can do it all. I saw him for the first time down at the Avalon Lounge, which is in Catskill. That's only 45 minutes away from Schenectady. A lot of people drive 45 minutes north to Saratoga. Go check out the Avalon Lounge in Catskill. Anywho, I saw them for the Upstate Composers Orchestra, where he brings in 12 to 14, 15 different composers from throughout the area, and they all play together in a very freewheeling setup. Keith Prey goes down to that all the time. They had a special guest saxophonist, Tom Avella, from the Capital Region, who I love. Tom's killer. So yeah, I got to go down to that show and was just like blown away by the musicianship there, and reached out to Bobby via email after, and he's like, hey, I have this thinking like down the line, I'd love to have you. You're a legend. You know, he's like, I got this new group, Second Arrow, which is my first small group in years. It's a quintet, featuring Bobby on drums, and I don't want to butcher the other names, so I'm gonna just stick with that. Matt, Angelica, Wendy, and Jerome. Last names I'll skip, but it's quintet that Bobby described as, besides Jerome Harris on bass, the other players he admired from afar and wanted to play with. And in his kind of same style that I saw down at the Avalon Lounge, it's goalposts that Bob sets up. Bob, like I know him, and has the players like play around it. So it's like structured improvisation that is jazz, you know. And there's a couple videos on YouTube that I was just like, oh my God, this is happening here. Oh my God. I'm trying to like make sure that the club is in the most tip-top shape on the 30th. And this is a show, you'll notice that ticket is $25 flat, because it is kind of expensive to bring in world-class jazz musicians. There's a give and take that is kind of different, but I also have an audience that is aware, and they know Bobby Previtt's work probably better than I do. I'd almost guarantee it. The fans that come over and over again to support what I'm doing here, what I'm just dipping my toes in and learning about. But this is a show that it says here, what does that say? Do not miss this show. That is my professional advice right on the flyer, because it's just really tremendous. And I think more so than just one show, it signifies a step forward for the Van Dyke Music Club and the type of talent that I can bring here. Yeah, just very cool and very proud of this one. It's on a Thursday night, so there's no excuses. Get on down to the Van Dyke, and we can keep having months like this be almost the norm, you know? So, yeah, it is like a favorite child a bit, you know? It's hard to pick, especially when, and I'm sure most of the listeners out here are like me. You listen to jazz. I don't listen to jazz on technical level. You know, a lot of the jazz heads do and the players do, and there's a whole appreciation from that level that goes up. But for me, I compare it to like opera. You know, as a person, you enjoy opera, or the Super Bowl this year and all the insane controversy about Bad Bunny. It's like, I don't understand the words. I was like a C average Spanish student 2 decades ago. But you feel the music and you appreciate it. And the same applies to jazz. I think if you go at it like you're going to an opera, which like it's classy, you know, you might not speak Italian, you know, but the feelings that you can get, and if you focus on those, everyone likes jazz. Period.
Wasn't there that like thing where they say that you really truly know if you like someone loves opera if they actually like in a very emotional part of it like cry, because like they probably don't understand what they're actually saying or seeing, but there's like an emotional aspect to it. It's like the scene from Pretty Woman where she cries and he's like, he knows that she appreciates the art of it. So I always think about that when I think about opera or I think about music, because I was the same way. Like everybody was like, oh, Spanish during the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I don't know how to say any of the song lyrics, but I downloaded like 7 songs that day and I was just bopping in the gym to them because I'm like, this is so catchy. I have no idea what he's saying.
Dude, and some people will think too of some jazz music and it's all just like your Chet Baker sad trumpet music. It's like there's so much peppy and upbeat, and then you get into the fusion stuff. This fall, for the 3rd straight year, we'll be bringing in the Brighton Beat, which is a tremendous Afrobeat group based out of New York City. Sammy Wags is the drummer and composer and lead singer, and that's like they have like a collective, right? So they do their shows. They're generally like 9 people, and it's most insane dudes, but some switch. But yeah, we had like 10 guys on stage upstairs, which was about the max I could do up there. And they took a huge swing on me after I saw them at No Fun, open for Ghost Funk Orchestra. And they mentioned, like, we have family in the area. We would love to, like, play here more. And I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. Like, maybe I should say something. I'm at the bar grabbing a drink for my girlfriend in between sets, and their guitarist just sits right next to me. I'm like, oh, this is a sign, you know what I mean? And we are closed on Monday. It's their phone ringing. But, you know, so I sent an email, and kind of like Bobby's situation, they're like, hey, we'll come down like this October. What do you think? I'm just like, oh my God, okay. And then I got things ready kind of afterwards. But yeah, there's a lot of different genres to play off of. Just because we are a jazz club, I can do different things. Just because we're a restaurant, bar, jazz club, I could do the social events and the drag shows and stuff. Here's the thing, man. I can do whatever the heck I want over here.
You can say hell on the podcast.
Hey, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I can do whatever the hell I want over here. It's when you have the reins, it's a strange feeling. And thankfully, if we're going with the wagon here analogy, Chef is sitting right next to me. And that's my partner, my stepfather, since I was 2. The brains behind the quality and consistency over here. You know, it's a bit of a Wizard of Oz situation. Like, he just throws me out front, you know what I mean, to be the face and mouth over here, which I love to do. Everyone has a role in this food and beverage industry, and I adore mine. But yeah, back to that, like, I could not do jazz. I could do this. I could try, you know, and flipping the reins and making that move while protecting the valuable, you know, cart that is the Van Dyke is a lot of responsibility, but it's so exciting. And to see it go in a positive direction and to see it grow means something must be going right.
Did you write all this down for your speech later?
No, I got to, man. I was thinking about that. I have like 2 to 3 minutes. I don't know what to say.
Recorded this so you could have kept it.
Yeah, right.
That was so phenomenal.
You know, one thing I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna be in this room with so much talent and in the capital region, and so many impressive folks, both in the, you know, promoting and the artistry and the venues, and you know. And I might be the only person in the room that has to sell chicken parmesans as part of the equation. And it is an interesting feeling, you know.
You should open with that.
Yeah, it's not bad. But without the chicken parmesan, we never would have got there. And the key to the chicken parmesan is the quality and the consistency. And I think through that, you know, you can achieve really anything. And that's what we're trying to do.
So I'm going to use the chicken parm segue here.
Yeah.
Being the 3-digit champion in the room. So my first experience here at Stella Pasta Oh God.
Stella Pasta Bar and Bistro.
Thank
just
you.
like the Van Dyke.
Yeah, really just like
Stella.
you got it written down. Don't start.
At
It's
this
Monday.
point, we are in. So I just call it Stella because now I work for DS. I work for DSIC, so I'm just like Stella. I'm just like Katie's. Just like everybody gets a one-word name.
That's all you got time for.
Yeah.
So my first experience over here is we did an out to eat with our good friend Natasha, and I took photos.
Which I'm so sad. I wish I was doing it then because the food looks so good.
Yes, and we happened to take photos of chicken parm and then be asked to sit down. Would you like to try it?
Which you never say no to. Gotta try it. How are you gonna write about it? if you don't
Natasha
try it?
is with me, and she was all in. So I'm like, if I've got a willing accomplice, I'm all in. It was absolutely fantastic.
Killer.
But when we were here, what was interesting was upstairs was still, I think, in process.
Yeah.
It needed work.
Oh, big time.
A little dusty. But you saw it. I saw the vision. And so for you being a Saratoga kid,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want to be wrong with this. It's the total biggest compliment I can give you. To me, it's New Cafe Lena 2.0. It's got that. I mean, you walk up and I'm like, we're here.
Yeah, man.
Like we got transported because I saw the vision, the short step up stage in the corner and all that. And I'm like, this thing's a rocket ship.
Yep. That's very much the vibes. It's about that connection between the performers and the audience. The third part of that equation is the venue, and you just, in my opinion, the best ones just try and step to the side a little bit and let that relationship be there, and then from the side you can support with the food and beverage and the atmosphere and stuff. And like Cafe Lena, who I visited there before the renovations and after, I visited there to meet with the incredible Sarah Craig, their CEO and leader for, I think, 17 years or maybe more. I'm getting the number mixed up. But I talked to Sarah because I sent an email in 2024 when I was just getting going upstairs that was essentially, hey, Sarah, my name's Chris Sule. I own the Van Dyke now, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And she was kind enough to say, come on down. And we were up in the green room having conversation, and I really appreciate it. I was interested in their set up as a 501c3 organization, which is a goal for me here. I think there's a lot you can do, community-driven stuff, this and that. One of our parts of the conversation was to have your setup ready. She was like, I was wearing like 100 hats and really had to get a good team and distribute those hats before you can make the jump into that. Makes a lot of sense. I heard you loud and clear, Sarah. And then another thing we were talking about, I had a show and I was just like, man, I feel like 80 people should have been in this show and 25 people were there. Like, what do you do in that situation? And she's like, it's obvious to me now as I've been doing it for longer, but you give those 25 people the best experience they could possibly have. And that's the advice. You know what I mean? Really, as far as you get 80, you give them the best. You got 60, you give them the best experience they can possibly have is key. Even while I'm a little disappointed, it's something different, whatever, it's about these folks that are coming and supporting you and growing your thing. So, I very much appreciate that comparison. We've got ways to go in our series, and thankfully, also, Cafe Lena does a tremendous jazz program. Mr. Chuck Lamb on keys helps coordinate that. So that's very cool. But they are primarily, known as a folk venue. And they have grown in such incredible ways that they can diversify. They can do different things. They're there. They have the 501c3 thing, the updated building. They're locked in. That's going to be Cafe Lena for a very long time. I would like to do something similar here at the Van Dyke, where I can get it to a point where it's like, all right, we've made more improvements. There's stuff to do on the bar, the stage, the lighting, the sound, the tables, the chairs, the third floor loft, which the fire marshal says can hold 41 people up there. There's a room across the board that is a perfect green room that's just been this like storagey thing that I got to do for the artist. So I've got a long list of stuff that we can do and then make that jump and be even a bigger part of our community and stuff like that. But I think the thing I'm getting very prematurely, not worked up, but working towards is to make sure this stays the Van Dyke and make sure the jazz is happening at 237 Union Street least until I'm long gone, you know, because I don't want to be here the whole time, probably, who knows, but, you know, I'd like to leave that as a legacy like it was, you know. Next year, 2027, is 80 years of the Van Dyck in Schenectady. We were talking about 10 years of Stella Pasta Bar. That 80 is something that puts it in comparison, and I'm also a part of that now, and kind of a being part of it now, being here for 80. And we're going to definitely use that, get the word out, some fun collaborations in play, Music Haven next year in the park. Been talking with Schenectady legend Mona Golub about that. Mona seems pretty stoked. She's like, I've been trying to like get together like maybe a jazz festival or something. So what, like, cool timing, and with the 80 years, you know. And then just this week I have meetings with Metroplex coming down. Schenectady's on Metroplex, because I got to make sure the building's in tight shape before we can keep doing these improvements. Schenectady Heritage Foundation helping out as well. It's really cool to just kind of have this responsibility here at the Van Dyck, and because that's like what I view it as, honestly. At the end of the day, it's not like, you know, I own the Van Dyck, this is just where our business happens. It's like, it's a thing, really. And you know, you talk about how when you were here and it was all dusty upstairs, I was telling the jazz guys early on when we were first getting out, I was like, listen, this is my plan. We're going to establish it down here. Then we're going to get some shows going on. If that works, we can expand it into that. And one of my favorite compliments is when they come through, they were like, a lot of club owners, a lot of business owners talk the talk, you know, but we've watched you back it up over 3 years here, and can see the direction that it's going, which is tremendous, you know. So that's just, you know, going and getting an award today and celebrating 10 years and stuff is phenomenal, but it feels so much like we're early on in this process, and this is a process that I want to keep going. So,
Do you know, we're not celebrating 2 awards. There's a 3rd award that has not been brought up yet, and it's jazz related.
Oh.
Baritone. Baritone won a medal at the New York State Craft Brew Association Awards.
Yes, I just saw it, and I think I screenshotted in my phone to bring it up.
We need to talk about my stepchild, because I feel so fucking bad. There's your bleep. That
I did, see? 7 Points Brewery is with Drink New York craft beer. Super proud to say that our Baritone Porter took home a silver medal last night at the New York State Craft Brewers Competition. It's one of our brewers' favorite recipes to make, especially when the smells of all the rich brown and roasted chocolate malts come together in the mash. Come enjoy one today.
It is a tremendous beer. When it says like our brewery and 7 Points Brewery, we need to be talking about Mr. Brian Conley. Brian, who is got his degree, that's what they call it, from SEC Hospitality here in their brewing program, and then came over here to Mad Jack and apprenticed under Drew Smith, I believe, who is now over at Frog Alley, doing their whole operations. When that happened, Brian stayed on here. A number of years passed, and then we moved in, and one of the most important conversations, man, to this whole project was me and Chef explaining to Brian what we do, you know, how Stella operates, that quality consistency, which is part of everything we do, and saying, you know, we trust the kitchen aspect to jump up a little bit. So instead of being over-reliant on, instead of being over-reliant on the brewery and saying, can you drop the price here a little bit to make it a bigger yield and stuff, we're just like, dude, just make good beer. Do the styles you want, get the ingredients you want, work with us on timing and everything, and go ahead. And he's done that to just an incredible degree. This is our second medal from the craft beer competition. First one was for the Dionysus, which was our white wine sour, which won in the experimental category, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I called the brewery the stepchild here because obviously I've been doing Stella for so long. It's part of the second nature, and I eat the food and I post it, yada, yada. And then I'm doing all the work upstairs. It is really, well, chef and cuz do a lot of the heavy lifting on the first floor. Second floor is mine, you know, unless we're doing a wedding, then it is all cousins. But the brewery, it's so tough for me to be big. I just recently passed, it was on New Year's Eve, was 2,000 days, which puts me at about 5.5 years alcohol free, after many years alcohol full. So it's been it was a huge change for me in the pandemic, and a very important one, one that I made with my mom. Just 92 days overlapped between me quitting and moving home, and mom getting ill, passing rather quickly. It was her second stint with cancer after being a survivor in 2008. But, you know, it was something that we did together, and couldn't have done it without her, and it's something that I continue to do with mom. Right here on my wrist is a little tattoo, and I called my mom on the morning of July 10th in 2020, and just verbal diarrhea. You know, I was on the kitchen floor of my apartment in Saratoga, just like, what is happening? I can't do this anymore, yada, 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 minutes. And she just like paused and just said, come home. Take a nap, drink it off, come home. You know, we'll chat, we'll talk. And that's what it says right there. Come home in her little handwriting here. And that's been a huge part of my life for the last 5 years. That was happening during COVID as we were trying to keep a restaurant alive in Burnt Hills, going from, you know, to takeout only, to the percentages and the plastic dividers. What a nightmare, right? But we did what we had to do, what was the right thing to do, I think, which is stay open for our employees and be able to run them, but do it in the safest way possible. That was like key for me and mom and chef. And yeah, very proud of what we did during that time. And when mom got ill, chef had to pretty much go and be with her full time. And it was my friend Casey, who was our chef at that point, my cousin-in-law, Tito, Allie's husband, was in the kitchen, and kind of me and my cousin were up front, kind of keeping Stella going. And we did that, and you know, to get through to here, the whole while the not drinking aspect kind of, it's tough. It's like part of what you do, but with mom, I call it some kind of like my cheat code. I do like to talk to other people that are struggling with, you know, different substances and stuff, especially the drinking. And I just am so confident that I'm never going to drink again because I did that with mom and I could never do that with her again, nor do I have the desire to. That it's a different kind of weight on me that it goes with other folks. But to circle all the way back, I'm so steadfast in it that it's just like, I know I'm not drinking anything that I'm ever going to brew here at 7 Points Brewery. It's just the truth of the matter. So you have to have people you trust. Brian is one of those. Chef, and my sibling Shar, and Cuz and the staff. You know, we do a staffy after work for everybody. So people get to try the beers, and our incredible happy hour contingent comes here. Best happy hour in town, by the way. Tuesday through Friday, 4 to 7 o'clock in the bar area. That's 12 happy hours a week. But you trust these people's opinions on the beer and how we can do it. But also, it's like I've been so bad at marketing the beers. I was trying for a while to do just like some fun pics. I thought, hey, maybe we'll do this thing. I'm just going to post a picture of a beer at 4 o'clock every day. That's unique, right? Why not? But then I was pouring the beer, and most of the time I had to pour it because I forgot to take pictures of other people's beer. And then I'm like pouring it down the drain, and I'm forgetting 4 o'clock because that's when the restaurant opens. I was like, all right, that was a bad idea. I think we're going to switch to a more customer-driven social media model.
Shannon can stop by at 4.
Yeah, there you go. Well, here's the thing about 4.
I don't drink beer like that.
But you can come over and take the photo.
I can come take the photos. Yeah. Oh no,
we can meet at 4.
Yeah, Stan can drink the beer on
We can meet at 4. But this is a team effort here. Team effort.
Yeah. I'm not a beer drinker like that.
Well, we have plenty of beer drinkers that support us, and they support us because the beer is good, and the beer is good through that quality and consistency model that Brian is overseeing. And No, I think I'm going to start something new that's like once a day, I'm going to give out a free beer. If you ask me for it. If you say, hey, Chris, give me the 7 Points Brewery beer of the day. And I'll do that once a day if you agree to take a picture with the beer. And I will post that picture to social media.
I think you're going to get a lot of people.
I think I'm going to get a lot of people asking me for a beer every day, and then it might be done. Maybe I just got a sign that says, like, the beer of the day is gone. You know, I hang it up when it's gone. But anyway, I want to involve the community here. That's what the brewery side, I think, is really all about. That's what going out and drinking beers is about. I've done it many times, and it's something I love to do up in Saratoga. It was the White Russians in the morning and the Jägermeister in the freezer that was a problem. But I digress. It builds a sense of, you know, we're sitting in the bar area right now and there's the dining room and you can see we did two things when we moved into Van Dyke. We took down the sports memorabilia. I like sports, all right? You'll never see me posting about it through my restaurant stuff. I don't care about it that much, you know? And it's not like, with the cuisine we're doing, it's just not, we didn't want a loud like bar area here. We have these TVs that don't work, you know, so that wasn't the vibe. So we took down a lot of the sports stuff. We painted 2 different colors. This beautiful maroon burgundy is the color of our dining room when we were over in Forecastle in Burn Hills. So it's a little throwback there. It's a little bit darker. You got the lights around the chandeliers in this side of the room. And then the other room is that like buttercream yellow. Tuscany was a inspiration with that color. And you have the beautiful fireplace and stuff. We had some contractors in early on and they took a look at that fireplace and they said, well, that's the most effed up chimney we've ever seen in our career. Cool beans. It looks beautiful though. We have some electronic candles that we turn on the back. One day we'll have a fireplace party. That'll be podcast part 2. Anyway.
So the fireplace doesn't actually don't work currently. Okay.
We'll call it a sit
It's
next
beautiful. I was like, most effed up fireplace. It looks gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous. It's the inside that counts, and ours is a crap.
So
this is the case with the outside.
So Chris is letting us know that in the future
there will be a podcast about
that the Stan and Shen podcast will be lit.
Yes.
Listen, fire emoji all the way.
And honestly, long running, because I got a lot bigger issues than freaking chimney. But it is a beautiful room. And we have the side dining room over there. I don't even like calling it the side dining room. That's the garden room over there. That is a beautiful green. Some pictures of the Stockade and Italy and some flowers over there.
Very nice in there. We had a restaurant meeting in there.
Yeah. We also do, it kills for the bridal party, the bridal showers, the baby showers, the 40-person party that we were pros at over on Burnt Hills because that was about as big as we can do them. And we still get a lot of business from those events, the little brunch things and stuff. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's there's not a lot of distracting stuff here. That's not really part of the decor. My servers are like, it's like black Stella shirts and black casual clothes. It's like not fancy. I had one lady during restaurant week. I love restaurant week.
Shen does too.
Okay.
Once the trauma's over, she does it too.
There's a little bit of stress leading up to it.
You get a lot of new customers, man. You get a lot of new customers. I
Which
meet
is
some
our favorite part
tremendous
of it,
people. But you get some that are just, I had one and I talked to the family that they seem
Everybody
nice.
has one during the week.
Well, it was just one customer said, and it's a customer that ran a business that had their own restaurant for a year. So of course I want to hear their opinion. Of course I do. And they tell me this, and then they're like, your server that's wearing a hooded sweater would never work a day for me. I'm like, okay. Thanks for letting me know that, man. Like, after causing some serious trauma to said hooded sweater server. And I'm just like, dude, that's just not our style, man. High quality casual dining.
Yeah.
High quality casual dining. That's not as good as a motto as quality and consistency. That's why it's motto B. But that's what it is. You don't need to dress up to come to the Van Dyke by all means. Do it. I'll appreciate it. But it's not that's not it. The quality of the service, the quality of the food and drink is always going to be more important than.
I'm right there with you, because stretchy pants all the way. If you're gonna eat, you're gonna eat. You need room for that. Who wants to be in stuffy, uncomfortable clothes trying to eat food? Not I. If you catch me coming in here in full-on sweatpants, I'm coming to eat.
Yeah, do it. And then at the same time, you might have...
It's going to be the brunch.
Brunch? Yeah, bro.
Shows up in brunch. Yeah. I don't know. Brunch feels like one of those things where I might actually dress up for it just to have a little fun. But might catch me here on a Thursday night in some sweatpants.
Now, I have 2 specific brunch outfits, and I rotate them and wash them because I am in the kitchen on Sundays. That is my kitchen shift. I am the crepe master.
Ah, yes. The crepes, which I've heard.
They're phenomenal. The cool thing is, chef, per usual, does the heavy lifting. He's handing me the ingredients most often, or...
Well, you're just pouring and
shout out to our sous chef Eden, who's 18. We have the youngest kitchen staff in the area. I'd gamble my reputation on that, chef. And these kids, that chef just likes someone that takes interest in this industry and is willing to learn, and he's willing to teach, and he's forgiving, unlike some other chefs are. There's growing pains and stuff, but once you kind of get it under his instruction, man, we've seen some real incredible young talents back there. And my buddy Eden is certainly one of them. He gets here before me on Sundays and spins the crepes. So the pancake part is pretty much ready for me too. Now, crepe construction is no amateur job. Okay, you can't just go back there, put a little butter down, throw things in the middle, expect it to work. There's technique. I'm training right now, Cooper.
I gotta come do a video on this. I think it'd be so fun to do something.
It's crazy back there. Well, chef's not a huge fan of having the cameras and stuff back there. That's the thing too. He likes to keep it
tight.
Yeah. On my crepes, Chris's crepes.
Bi-monthly. Tight. I'll stay in one corner. I swear I won't move.
No. It's fun.
And if it gets so bad, he can just tell me, no food for you.
Yeah. Here's a problem with the crepes, though, because I will make a handful of crepes for the customers, and then I'm making a crepe for me. Rinse, repeat over 4 hours, and it's all the good work I've done during the week. It's I just ate 5 very skinny pancakes filled with, whatever on a whim I want to do, because they're savory crepes. We do the Van Dyck crepe. That's Italian sausage, smoked Gouda, caramelized onions.
You're making me real hungry.
I say chef makes caramelized onions like Amelia Bedelia. I don't know if you're familiar with literary legend Amelia Bedelia, who takes things very seriously, does not understand subtlety. What's your problem? That's it, I guess. But when you say caramelized onions, you cook them down, you sweeten it. Chef puts sugar in his caramelized onions and just lets them get caramelly. Yeah, they're the most addictive food on the planet Earth. Anywho, chef's caramelized onions, smoked Gouda cheese, and the Italian sausage in a savory crepe, and that gets 2 over easy eggs on top of it. Cooked down. It is just so flippin' good. And that one was one that I came up with that idea. I am the namer of stuff here. I'll be very proud of that. The Baritone Porter, the Dionysus Sour Ale, all the other beers. Brian's if I was naming beers and I made a 7 points new red ale, it'd be called 7 Points Red Ale, which is fine. And one day I'm just gonna name one of the beers that. But yeah.
No, then you gotta name it the Brian.
That's true. It's true. Well, actually, if we ever have a red ale, it'll be called the Jorginho, who, by the way, has just been the best boy over these last 40 minutes. Shout out to my little puppy from Homeward Bound, right here in the Stockade. Georgie is.
Who I have not called yet, but we are hoping to have as part of Tater Trot. Those, because you were there when we talked about it.
Well, you have another Stockade dog legend in Potato.
Yep. So Potato did the shout out, but our goal, and I still got to get them on the phone, is to have donation jars set up at the various Tater Trot locations this year, and all that money would go to Homeward Bound.
Nice.
So that's not fully set yet, everybody. Just FYI. I gotta make some calls.
Okay.
I haven't made calls yet.
In case
But
you're curious,
that's the goal.
This is a glimpse into my life. This is Conversations with Shen.
Conversations with Shen sounds like a great podcast.
Yeah.
where there
No,
is
it's-
no set.
It's just no. The next podcast is just Shen Show because that's what it is. It's
Shenanigans.
all. I got this for you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you yet. I'm like, why'd you tell me you had something?
Because I got to remember that I had it.
If you did Shen Show, if you did 2 asterisks over the E.
Exactly. Exactly. All the time. We actually have a mystery podcast coming up. We have a podcast.
Fucking work.
I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about. There's something big coming
Oh,
that
yeah.
that she can't tell me.
It's because then he'll bring it back. He'll be like, remember that thing you said you couldn't tell me? He goes, and you said it was coming up soon. And I'll be like, oh, yeah.
This
Still
is like-
working on that.
It's like literally the double secret probation podcast. Like if we put it in the can, it's like got to be on a separate SD card locked away in Shen's desk. So there will be the mystery podcast coming up sometime.
Yeah. Well, he knows what it is.
Oh.
Well,
This is what we talked about at
this
the
is
restaurant meeting
This is the
with
whole thing. You guys are talking about.
program. Yeah.
You are in the know,
Yeah, you're in the know.
Wow.
And-
It's cool to be in the know.
because I'm the enemy, the media.
Yeah.
I am the enemy. I do not know this. So I will hopefully probably see a post on Facebook or an Instagram with Shannon and a dog to find out something's happening April 25th.
You're going to love it. Well, what's happening on April 25th is
April 25th.
it's St. Arnetta.
That's how I
Fuzzy Jazz Brother Duo at the Van Dyke
Oh my
Music
God.
Club.
So you guys,
Bless you, guys.
so yes, so you can do tater trot on April 25th and then come to a jazz show. You're welcome, everybody.
I might walk around with some tickets. Famously over here on the
Let us know.
on the sad side of Erie Boulevard, not none enough people trot over
Yeah.
across the street.
But if that's something you want to do though, we'll really push that.
I'll walk around. Yeah, sure.
That'd be cool. Like if I don't know, make something fun out of it. Like name a something or other and get a ticket.
Right?
We
Oh,
can come up
wealth
with
of
something.
ideas. Just name a something with a something. This is how all great ideas germinate.
Well, if it's like Jazz Appreciation Month, that they can name like a jazz player or jazz song.
Oh, very
or,
true. Very true.
You know, if they can name one of the other jazz shows during the month, something like that. Like, you know,
We'll see.
could be fun. Let me know.
I'm not committing to anything, but you can certainly
We never
call
commit to
over
anything.
to the Van Dyke and purchase tickets to any jazz show.
Not on Monday.
Not you can leave a voicemail. You'd be shocked. I see the missed calls compared to the voicemails, and my message is nice. You've reached the Stella Pasta Bar, 7 Points Brewery, Van Dyke Music Club. We're not here right now, but please leave a voicemail. I'll get back to you as soon as you can. Head to our website, stellapastabar.com, to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, a once-a-week email sent out by yours truly every Tuesday. Thanks so much. And you caught that bit about the newsletter, right? Okay. But also, it says very importantly, leave a voicemail, and I'll call you back myself. I'm the first one here on Tuesdays. Well, don't let my hostesses hear that. But, yeah, I don't know. Most people don't. But anyway, if you want to go to a ticket and you call me, leave a voicemail. I'll call you back.
Yeah, and also just FYI, in case you're planning for the tater trot and you want to come to the show after, the tickets are $15 or $20.
It's $15 advance.
Okay,
It's $20 day of.
So it would be $20 day out. But if you're planning already, it's $15 advance.
Maybe you know what? Maybe. Just maybe. Do they keep anything? Do they have to turn their ballot in at the end?
So it's voting's all online.
Voting's all.
We can figure out something. We'll
if,
talk.
If they
we'll
get
figure
like
out something.
maybe if there's like a confirmation that you voted, maybe I can give a
the thing
$5
is, like-
off or something.
So the thing is we don't have like emails or anything. So we'd have to figure out something.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way we can do something.
Just to get the tater trotters down. But
Maybe it's like if they're out and about during cater trot, they take a photo and they bring that photo in of them with an actual potato dish they purchased.
or I can maybe just tape a poster and say like on a certain pole on JStream, but like take a photo of this for $5.
There you go.
Or something. But I'll be around. What happens on those trot days is they are slamming. They're busy after we get people in town to walk and stroll.
And like we started here last year when we were soup stroll judges, and we don't disagree, because it's you guys are really the only street we cover in the Stockade as part of the district, so we get it. It's hard, but if we can sort of push some people your way afterwards, that's definitely that's the way to do it.
It's huge for it, and
That's why I'm glad you have the show going on, because I think we can really navigate some people that way.
For sure. And this was a show that
walk down there, work off your potatoes, have a show, drink some drinks, eat some other food, not potatoes.
we do have the bacon Gouda fries that we do are tremendous.
Just kidding. Eat the fries.
Those are some. We did that as part of our Stockade-a-Palooza stock, our little summer series last year on the patio. We had a small menu, and the bacon Gouda fries were there, and they escaped from that menu. I'm considering. It's freaking the end of March. About my Stockade-a-Palooza stock series that I did last year. It was pretty solid on Thursdays. The timing was a little strange. Also, this year they're making a huge change from bands on Broadway last year.
Yes, they are.
To the Electric City you know what? I don't want to ruin the name. Maybe it's not announced yet. Electric City something.
But there's a change coming.
That could be added to the mystery podcast. Coming up to you shortly. All your listening platforms.
Discussions are ongoing. I'm not part of those discussions.
They mentioned that meeting was happening on the restaurant meeting. And they're like, yeah, we have the meeting about this at 1:00. And I just literally said, can I go to that?
Yeah.
And I was like, because and
this is what happens during our restaurant meetings is it's just we'll have an agenda and then it totally doesn't get followed, which is great. I love that. That's the best part. But I do want to wrap things up here just only because we were going for we went for an hour and a half.
I'm sorry.
So
We weren't. I don't think we were live that long.
Yeah, I don't think we were live.
We're hitting the end.
Yeah. So Jazz Appreciation Month coming up here at the Van Dyck in April. Get your tickets now.
Please.
Select what days you want to come. I have a feeling things are going to fill up quickly. So, there's plenty of options from Thursday nights to Saturday nights to a brunch day. So, yeah, get on it. Get moving.
Appreciate jazz at the Van Dyck.
Yeah.
All right, now we got to go around and get us out of here. Who goes first? You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, we'll go you, Chris, and then me.
Okay.
Because that's usually how we do it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Shen. I don't know. You always do this at the end, and I never have any.
This is why we're just a top-ranked quality podcast. So it's Apple.
All right. It's Shen. Come on down to the Van Dyck and get your jazz on. And jazz hands are not excluded, right?
Jazz hands as much as you'd like.
Okay. Bring your jazz hands.
This is Chris Sule. Thanks for listening to the Stan and Shen Show. Quality and consistency at 237 Union Street in the Stockade, Stella Pasta Bar and Bistro, 7 Points Brewery, and the Van Dyck Music Club. Thank you so much.
I was going to say quality and consistency. It's not the name of this.
EU was about the venue. EU, it wasn't about...
Immediately, I was like, this is not about the Stan and Shen Show.
No. But once again, to get you out of here, live your life. It's the only one you got.
True deans.
That Stan's outgoing quote all the time, and it's sometimes I'll wake up on podcast day
it's the only one I got.
It's the only one I got.
Hey Shen, it's Brian Krause here. I hear you're doing great things on the show and the newspaper, and I want to say, oh, look at that. How sexy is that? Same guy? I don't know. Listen, word is, keep it up. You're kicking ass. And to the Stan and Shen Show, keep rocking. I'm Brian Krause. Much love.